Hello YouTube, LJ Draco here. Yes, this is going to be one out of two of the Wednesday reviews. The first one of Wednesday was supposed to be the new TMNT2 Out of the Shadows 3D review, but I haven't exactly watched it yet, and I'm actually recording Monday. So I haven't watched it yet. I'm sorry, I couldn't do my weekly movies because I'm only watching one movie really this week, as I've got a lot to do. And it's going to be that. So my weekly movies is going to be included in this. So my weekly movies for this week is TMNT2. So I'm sorry, there's not been any more at the moment. Yeah, but this is going to be the review on DreamWorks' How to Train Your Dragon 3D and movie review. Now this is a movie that I'm quite passionate to talk about because it's honestly, there's been quite a few dragon movies out there in the past, such as Dungeons and Dragons, Dragonheart, Aragon. I'm pretty sure there's been Pete's Dragon. There's some low budget dragon movies out there somewhere. Someone's probably going to come along and shout like, "Hey, don't you remember that movie with that dragon in?" I don't know them all. I've only seen quite a few. There's probably some that I've seen before that I just can't remember. But this one stood out to me quite a lot. It's a different kind of dragon tale. So let's just I'm not going to do too much of the movie. I'm just going to get to the characters and the dragons and the points. Well, we start off on an island called Burke, where we get to hear the narration of the main character known as Hiccup, played by Jay Baruchel. If you don't know who he is, he's from Knocked Up. He's one of the roommates that gets pink eye, but he's also from Sorcerer's Apprentice, which I think was one of his best roles. He's also in This Is the End. He's just a great kind of. He's not really a little actor. He's actually quite a great actor, but a lot of people don't give him the credit he deserves. But he plays the main character Hiccup, and he's the runt of the litter. That's why he's named Hiccup. He's not really. This is based on Vikings, so he's meant to be big, butch, brawny kind of people, and yet he's not exactly those things. Yet he wants to be so much like them. And on Burke, their place is basically plagued by dragons. Every couple of weeks, dragons will come along, burn most of their houses. They've got to keep rebuilding up their defenses against the dragons. And he just wants to be able to take a dragon down. And then we get introduced to his father, known as Stoic, who is the chief of the Burke, of all the Vikings living there, who's played by Gerard Butler, great Scottish actor. He's the biggest, he's the toughest, so he, tries to help, and he keeps telling his son Hiccup, like, look, just go back inside. You don't know how to fight like us. You don't know how to kill a dragon, so just go inside. But when Hiccup's around, things go wrong. So you get to see that kind of father and son anger bond between them both. Hiccup's angry because his father won't let him try and be a Viking, but his dad's angry because he knows his son isn't a true warrior. He's not a dragon killer. He doesn't have that look. He doesn't have that feel. He just isn't meant to be. So he works as a kind of like a blacksmith. He works on weapons and shields with a character named as Gobber, and Gobber is played by Craig Ferguson. Now I don't know. He's on that American TV show. But the only thing that I remember him from, if I can get a picture of it, you'll see, he was from an episode of Red Dwarf where he played Lister's conscience, and it's like so weird seeing him look like that. So yeah, so that's all I really know Craig Ferguson from. But yeah, Gobber is a very funny and quite an interesting character. You can see he's got a couple of limbs missing from where he's been in battles with dragons. He's best friends with Stoic, so they've got a good friendship along with themselves. But also, Hiccup's not the only kind of teen Viking on the island. There's a bigger one known as Snotlout, played by Jonah Hill, who just hates the very look and thought of Hiccup. You got Roughnut and Toughnut, which are the best twins ever to be animated or used for the best animated twin siblings to ever be on in a movie. I'm sorry, I'm starting a bit because it's just so thinking about how funny it is. Because they're played by two great comedian actors. They're played by Kirsten Wiig and T.J. Miller, who are both absolutely hilarious. So putting them together as twins, it works so well. You also got Fish Legs, who's played by I'm not gonna say. I think his name Christopher Mintz Plasse, or I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He's also known as the mother, of Kick-Ass. He's also McLovin from Superbad. So it's weird to see him not the skinny kid with glasses so much as he's the fat, greedy kid who's really intelligent. And then, of course, we've got the love interest of the movie, Astrid, who's played by America Ferrera, who everyone knows as Ugly Betty. And in fairness, I'm going to say I never watched Ugly Betty. I've seen a couple of episodes and I really did not like it. I didn't like her. I didn't like the series. But yeah, I love her as Astrid from this movie because she's just got that badass kind of attitude about her. Not so much as nowadays teens, which is that everything has to be my way. It's more like, I'm tougher than all of you, say anything and I'll just hurt you kind of attitude. And that's cool. It's really cool, especially back then, because back then, women weren't the strong fighters, they were more of the big singers. So, for a strong Viking, yeah. But anyway, so already we've got a great cast of actors, also a bunch of great characters, and they all have to do this thing as dragon training, where they have to, they go up against all different types of dragons to try and learn. And what happens on the night at the beginning of the episode, it's because I was watching the Dragon mini-series. I'm sorry, I love the Dragon mini-series. It's awesome. If you haven't seen them, I'll talk about them in another video. But yeah, in the beginning of the film, when the town gets raided, Hiccup built this machine that has a net built into it. So when it fires, it catches a dragon. Now he accidentally hits a dragon in the tail instead of the actual dragon, and ends up ripping off a part of its tail when it crashes into the forest. And it was one of the most dangerous dragons to be called, which was a Night Fury, which is one that blends in with the night sky and attacks without... you kind of know because you hear his scream, but you can't see him, so you don't know where to hit him, and Hiccup actually managed to hit him. So Hiccup runs off into the forest and tries to find where he is. Finds the net, the net's just laying there, and he sees drag marks, so he follows them down and he finds the dragon. And he wants to make his father so proud, so he gets a dagger and he's like, "Ugh!" And he realizes the dragon's opened his eye and stares at him, the one eye open, and then lays his head down like he's ready to die. And as Hiccup's about to go, I'm going to make my father proud, I'm going to be a Viking, he's like, I can't kill him. I can't kill him. So he released a bit of the net that was wrapped around his feet. The dragon jumps up, screams at him, and then flies off. Well, leaps off. It can't really fly because half of his tail's been torn off by the net. So Hiccup runs back to the village and tries to explain to his dad that he was wrong. He can't kill dragons. He doesn't want to go dragon training, but his dad's like, no, you've convinced us too much now. You've moaned about it for so long. You're now going to learn how to kill a dragon. Anyway, Hiccup keeps going to revisit the dragon, brings him fish and stuff, and brings him some food, and starts trying to be around the dragon, learn his movements and stuff like that, learn how he works, so that he can use that when he's training against the dragons in the arena. And he finds out what kind of foods they're afraid of. They're afraid of eels, so when he goes to fight another dragon, he hides an eel in its jacket, so when the dragon smells it, it backs off, but it looks like he's actually backing off from Hiccup. He learns how to put a dragon down by scratching its back and its neck. He also learns that certain grass makes it fall round and roll. So it's kind of an insightful movie because it shows you all these different kind of ways that dragons react to different things, and even though they're all different types of dragons, they all have the exact same responses, which is good, which is a kind of a good thing for him, especially because if you're training against dragons, the best thing to do obviously is to try and know all of its weaknesses and strong points. So Hiccup starts learning with this dragon, and he goes to feed him. As he goes to feed him, he realizes the dragon has no teeth until the dragon wants to eat, and then they all come out and chews on the fish. So he names him Toothless because when he's not hungry, he has no teeth. which is actually pretty cool. So Toothless becomes now a main character along with Hiccup. Without Hiccup and Toothless in the same scenes, it feels kind of flat because, now you kind of see that they're getting this connection. Whenever they're separate, you're just like, oh, I want to see Hiccup with the dragon. I want to see the dragon with Hiccup. You don't want to see them separate anymore. So to skip on a bit further ahead, eventually Astrid finds out that Hiccup's been getting his special skills of fighting dragons with training with one. They end up accidentally stumbling upon an alpha's nest full of dragons, the nest of dragons that his father has set on like 4 different ships to try and find, and always come back with one ship burnt up and failing. So what happens is Hiccup ends up getting in trouble in the arena. Toothless hears from a distance, and Toothless tries to save him, and they all capture Toothless. And Hiccup accidentally lets it slip that Toothless accidentally came across the alpha's nest. So his father, Stoic, ends up taking Toothless and making Toothless guide him to the mother's nest. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit briefly about this part. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'm not going to ruin the whole film. But skip a bit. They arrive at the island. They blast a hole through the wall. They see a bunch of dragons come out. And the next thing you know is the alpha of the nest, the Red Death, bursts out of the cave and starts burning things and standing on things. And it's this moment on where you see the real bond between family, Hiccup, and Toothless. And it just becomes such an emotional, amazing story because you get to actually see how, in a way, this story speaks of more than just a owner and its pet, or like a father and son. It's more about how it doesn't matter how different you are. It doesn't matter whether you can talk to each other, or whether you understand each other, whether you have the same points of view. It proves that if you just, for 1 second, take one look at something that you've thought you were wrong about your entire life, how when you look at that one mistake that you think you've made, you can just accept the fact that you were wrong and live a much happier life with that mistake. Hiccup thought he'd be a great dragon killer, and then he realized he wasn't destined to be a dragon killer. He was destined to train dragons and live with dragons, make the peace between Viking and dragon, to stop the big battle between them from killing each other. And also it was to show his father that he may not have been strong strength-wise, but he was strong in spirit, which most Vikings didn't exactly have. Most Vikings were strong by brooding. Well, by brooding, like, you know what I mean? Not. I know the term brooding means when a guy wants his woman to be pregnant. So not that. Brooding, that's it. Brooding strength. I keep saying brooding. I get them too mixed up. Brooding strength. So Vikings are reliant on the fact that they're big and muscly and scary, and that's how they fight. So when Stoic could see that Hiccup he just wanted the war between dragons to end, and that he could connect with this dragon, because he made a special like saddle brace thing where he can actually help Toothless fly. He made like a special side of a tail that he can control with his feet. So they're basically linked. Toothless can't fly without Hiccup, and Hiccup can't survive now without Toothless. So they've become one main character, and it's just a great, fantastic story. So without spoiling any more of the film, because I've already given enough detail as it is, let's get on to the point you guys watch most and practically all my reviews about, other than the couple that have slid in that ain't 3D. This is about the How to Train Your Dragon 3D part now. Now, I am upset because with great animated movies such as How to Train Your Dragon and others like classical Disney or other DreamWorks productions like Turbo, stuff like that, you expect to get the best kind of 3D possible. I don't know if it's just me who does this, but I think to myself that if a movie comes out that has a great picture quality and that looks like it should do better, I get upset when it feels like it's gotten no special treatment. I get really annoyed, just like, let's just slap that, put a cover over it so it looks 3D, and just ship it out like that. There's no real attention to where the 3D should be in most 3D movies. That's why I don't like widescreen movies as much with 3D, because I feel like you're robbing the viewers of a full screen entertaining image that just makes us blow our minds. Alright? I said, with stuff like Avatar and the first Avengers and Ant-Man, you know, even Alice Through the Looking Glass and Alice in Wonderland, all these big full screen experiences that we get to see all the colour, all the animation, all the effects. We get to see the whole amount, and then we get the full amount of 3D we think we deserve if we're going to spend so much money on these products. So I was a little bit heartbroken to bring the 3D How to Train Your Dragon home, and it was widescreen. And I was like, oh, you know, I don't really enjoy watching 3D movies in widescreen because they're not always great, but I'll give it a chance. And boy, I was wrong. The widescreen is annoying, but they did actually pay a lot of attention to the 3D, to the point where when the fire was coming out, it looked like it was coming out the screen. You know, when they're flying around, you do get that big, beautiful, in-depth version of 3D, so it actually feels like you're flying over the ocean, where the water looks like it's coming out of the bottom of the screen. So they done some really great work with this 3D, this Blu-ray, and I'm so happy to own it. They have done the same with How to Train Your Dragon 2. That movie on its own deserves a review at some point. I don't know when, but it should get one. How to Train Your Dragon is, and probably will be, my most favourite dragon movie of all time. And I think it's definitely my most favourite DreamWorks movie of all time. I don't think there's any other DreamWorks movie that's come out, so not Megamind, not Shrek, not Despicable, not Despicable Me, sorry, that one's not DreamWorks. Sorry, nope, that's not one DreamWorks. Monsters, I like Monsters vs. Aliens, but not even that. You know, How to Train Your Dragon was just so different from all other 3D animated movies out there. And I am so happy to now own this and to enjoy the film the way it should be, with a great experience of 3D along with that movie. You guys know that all movies deserve ratings, and I said I base my ratings on how I feel about I can watch a movie and how much entertainment I got. If it's just a standard 2D movie, then the movie would get just a simple rating. But if it's 3D, it does get an extra point whether it's bad, or it loses an extra point whether, let me correct myself. It gets an extra point if it's good, and it loses an extra point if it's bad. So, like for an example, say Turbo. I've got the 3D. The movie is great. The 3D is slightly a letdown. So instead of giving that, like, say, an A, I would have given it a B+, because the movie's good, but the 3D is a letdown. But for this movie, guys, I'm sorry, it does deserve a big, fat A+, because I can watch this movie countless times. I can watch the 3D countless times. The 3D is amazing. The movie is amazing. The characters are interesting. The story is interesting. You know, I mean, just wow. It was an intelligent family realization kind of movie. I mean, for kids who watch this at the age of about between at least 12 and 15, or 10 or 15 even, can actually kind of understand that where this is coming from. That just because something is different and you may not like it at first doesn't mean the thing that you think is different isn't. Like, I mean, it could be exactly the same as you. It could have the same feelings, the same emotions, or it could even, like, you know, like people. You judge people because you don't know them. Get to know them. Start actually trying to be nice instead of being nasty. It's a great movie. So I think it definitely deserves the A+. Great movie. If you haven't seen this movie, go and actually watch the full movie, because even if I told you every single minute of the movie in full detail, it's not going to be the same as actually watching it for yourselves. Good thing I say about this movie is it doesn't need the 3D for most people. If you enjoy just standard 2D movies, it is one of the most beautiful movies for 2D as well. And the good thing about 2D is you can stretch the screen to full screen, so you still get that nice big image. But for 3D viewers, if you want to enjoy a nice 3D movie, That's probably one of the best ones to get. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed these reviews and the previous reviews that I've done, please show your support by clicking that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to strike the like for future videos, and I'll see you guys in my next review.